Henshin Inspection presents Going Ultra. This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Prepare yourself for hard-hitting Ultraman discussion and analysis. Ultraman Arc Episode 24, The Descending Dream, is a bit of a doozy. It was originally aired January 11, 2025, directed by Takanori Tsujimoto, and written by Jun Sugita. So, we will get back to those gentlemen later. For now, I just want to go ahead and talk about my episode. I actually was so impressed by everything that was going on in this episode. There was a lot of great iconography, and a lot of great images that I actually grabbed a bunch of them and threw them all into an email for myself so I could reference them so I don't forget to talk about them. So, I really like this episode. It's great suspense. It's a great penultimate episode. By the end of it, Arc and Yuma are in the absolute most distress they possibly can be. And the Skip crew knows 100% that he is Ultraman, or at least, well, yeah, no, they know. First they suspect, Chief Bond says, this is a crazy idea, crazy theory, but could it be that he's, and then Rin and Ishio just look over at him, and they all continue, and they're trying to protect Yuma, and Yuma's hearing them talking about how they're going to protect him, and just like he's protected them all these times, Ishio says, and he hears that. When they're all ready to go, they have their plans made. Yuma's already gone. He's already running. He's already running towards the enemy, towards not the future or his future, but his future is his end. He's already running towards that, and they try to stop him, and I guess the kaiju appears, Sweet is there, and they don't stop him because he's got to fight. He has to stand and fight to protect his friends and his whole planet, and that's what he's going to do. And he doesn't even turn back to acknowledge them as Yuma. He pulls out the Arc Cube, he activates it, he's transforming, which is a truncated transformation, I'm pretty sure, just, to increase the cool factor. Because while all of this is interesting, it also kind of takes away from things. It's, a faster transformation is cooler in a lot of ways. Anyway, so then he transforms, and Arc rises up. I think he does the Arc hug first. Anyway, and Arc turns back and looks at him, which is what I featured in the thumbnail. Him looking at them at the, what would have been the reverse shot of them seeing each other before he flies off to go fight against this grand kaiju, whose name is, they call him Gilbaku, which makes me think of Gilbaka, like a Chewbacca variant, but it's not. But anyway, so he goes off to fight Gilbaku, and he doesn't have such a great time, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Gosh, how do I want to do this? Okay, I'm just going to go through in order, basically, with the clips. I think I have them basically in order. I don't, actually. Whatever. I'll figure it out. So, it's really interesting that at the start of the episode, well, first of all, Hoshimoto City is gone, which I did not realize at the end of the last episode. In fact, listening to the recap episode, EJ brought up that Hoshimoto City is gone, and what does that mean? And is it going to come back? It appears to be gone. What's happening? And, I mean, to me, that shot at the beginning shows Yuppie, Ishido, Rin, and Chief Bond looking at, just a massive hole where Hoshimoto City should have been, and it's now completely obliterated. So, I don't know how it works that they went ahead and then found Yuma in rubble. But before they found Yuma in rubble, he was having this dream, this interaction, wherein, this is full spoilers, right? You understand that? You understand. Anyway, Swede is masquerading as Arc, and she's asking for him to say goodbye to Arc, and to take her hands as Arc. And Arc goes through and says, your parents, there was an accident while you were camping, and your parents are here, and they're fine, they're waiting for you, the rescue team is on its way, and, you will be recovered soon. All you have to do is let go. Say thank you, Ultraman Arc, and let go of me, and then you'll be fine. You'll wake up, you'll be back with your mother and father, and you gotta think about what a strong temptation that is for Arc. For Yuma. We learn that Sweet is just using Arc's visage to deceive him, and she's upset and gets irritated when he actually wakes up. And there's really cool suit acting going on, where, let me see if I can find the suit actor real quick. Yeah, so Hideyoshi Iwata does this great thing, acting as Sweet, acting as Arc, that when Yuma's about to reach out to him and touch his hands, his beep, 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 alarm goes off on his watch. If he's supposed to be sleeping, if it's all a dream, why does his watch still have an alarm going on it? Why is it set? That doesn't make sense, and it breaks it, and she, whatever. Arc looks from the watch to Yuma's face, to the watch to Yuma's face, and then there's a real interesting cut back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between them. And as the cuts increase in speed, that editing cuts, it increases the tension, and you feel like, oh, what's gonna happen? And it cuts to black, and then we go on from there. So that was a really neat bit of like visual storytelling, as well as through the suit acting, through the edits that were made, the cuts that were made, and they're in this hazy black place. So it's black, and there's lights coming in that look like they've got the slanting rays of like light coming out from clouds and things like that. I don't know how else to say that. And there's even a funny thing going on where Arc, Sweet as Arc is telling him all these things. That it's all just a dream. He's like, but I'm grown up, and he's touching his face whenever he says, like, even the sensation of touching your face is an illusion. And it made me think of the Matrix. Do you think that's air you're breathing now? From the famous fight scene in the dojo, right? Neo, Morpheus, you get it? Anyway, I may or may not make a meme of it, but it was just a great moment. I thought, that's really interesting. So beyond that, what happens next? Let me see. So they recover him. He gets out of there. Oh, another thing. So EJ mentioned that there was all of Hoshimoto City looked like it was blown away. He also mentioned something that I saw, but I forgot to mention because just not having the images in front of me, it's easy to forget there's so much going on, and I don't just always talk about the spectacle, I talk about the themes and everything, so it's easy to forget. But at some point, the Galaxer feathers were pulled together as a claw. All four of them gathered together, and Yuma Coxback, Arc Coxback, slashes through Trigolos, and that's like a key to his success, to defeating him, Trigolos. And it looked really awesome at the time, and I was really impressed by it. I thought, oh, he scratched him with a claw. That's super cool. Keep in mind, I really like Jeed, and I like his galactic whatever armor. What is that armor called? Jeed Galaxy Rising. That's the one I really like. It's fantastic. But I feel like in Ultraman Z, where I first encountered Jeed Galaxy Rising, or perhaps Jeed at all. I don't remember now. Anyway, we get to see that the Alpha Flight, Beta, Smash, Gamma, something, Delta Room? No, that's wrong. Delta, whatever the Delta form is. I'm pretty sure he has claws. Because he's got the Belial he's got the, not the Belial the Belial metal in him too, the Belial Atrocious. Anyway, I'm just getting sidetracked. I like the fiercer forms. They're a lot of fun for me, even though I like the super heroic stuff. But I like my heroes to be fierce and tough. Anyway, so moving on to keep on track for this episode, because I don't want it to be overly long. We get this interruption of the dream, and, Swede gives up the jig, I guess, so you would say that, and, she leaves him alone for a while. He's recovered out of the rubble, and they're very concerned for him. Bjorno comes back and takes over Yuppie as Yuppie's in the rubble looking for him. He completely hijacks him somehow. I don't know how he's able to maintain the hijacking by transferring himself through the phone, which also makes me think of the Matrix. Picking up the phones and transferring. Anyway, but he stays inside of Yuppie for a while, and after Yuppie runs off with Yuma, he talks to him and says, "Yeah, you've been poisoned." So the thing is, it turns out that Zesu is a smart villain, and he's been slowly poisoning Jeed, and Yuma ever since they shortly after the Galaxer was incorporated, or shortly after the Onyx was turned into the Galaxer, and then they started using it for the Galaxer form. So that's super interesting. He's been slowly poisoning them. They are going to die. That's why Yuma's been having the shaky hands, and even Arc is weakened now, and he can't directly communicate with him, which is why Bjorno does it, which I honestly kind of don't like. That Blazar didn't talk to Gento at all, and Arc talks to him rarely, but then there's another Ultra, essentially, talking to him for him. It just seems kind of strange. I don't really like that choice. but I do like the fact that they've been slowly poisoned over this time, and that it will lead to their doom ultimately. And basically, what's going to happen is if Bjorno had not been able to tell them, which Zesu has stopped him multiple times from being able to get out the full message, they would just eventually explode, I guess, and the Onyx would reform, and it would dump all that astral or astro, I don't know, star energy from Solana, the sun in Zesu and Swede and Rution's galaxy. It would dump all that energy to the Earth, and the Earth would be obliterated. Like, they would die, and then the Earth would die, all at one time, and which would be pretty crazy. And that's like a great like villain win. Like, oh yeah, you thought you beat me, but actually I had a back door, and I let you. I let it, burst through your chest and destroy your whole world. And ha ha ha, my world is safe now, and yours is fine, or is gone, and I'm fine with that because I don't really care about you backwater humans. So that was pretty interesting. I like that. I like that Swede. Like, I get really strong. Not Danazanan. Well, I get kind of stronger Danazanan vibes. Oh, it's because she gets the same type of energy. And there was SSS Dinazanon, and there was SSSS.Gridman. There we go. One of the villains is injured, and he comes back with an eye patch and maybe some scarring on his face. And Swede has the same thing going on. It's an Ultra Series thing. And I just like the fun little visual connection. And it's funny that she was defeated, and then she comes back, and she just has an eye patch and a little, scarring on her cheek. And that tells us something. But she's mad, and it's fun to see, that she failed, and this is her last chance. And there's this cool, Vader Emperor moment where Zesu appears, just his head in the sky, and he's talking to her, and he's got subtitles, hard subs on this. I'm watching the dub, of course. He's got hard subs, and she's responding to him in English or whatever, and that's pretty fun. A little complaint I have before I cap this off and get into the climax of the episode and say what I liked about it is that my boy Gilbaku looks a little bit, which the Gil is spelled Guile, so does that make sense because he's like a dream manipulating kaiju, I guess. Anyway, he looks very much like one of my favorite kaiju, who's a new kaiju who debuted in Ultraman Z, which would be the space pirate. I know he's a space pirate, but I don't remember his name right now. He's the moth guy, butterfly guy. Alien Barossa. That's his name. Alien Barossa, yeah. I looked it up. I had to look it up. Anyway, so yeah, Alien Barossa, very cool, but the textures and the colors and some of the effects with that blue bleeding through. Why are images of... Oh, probably because I didn't put Alien Barossa. Ultraman Z Alien Barossa. Anyway, yeah, the brownish with the lines on it, the texturing, the blue eyes, the blue belly, it's all kind of similar, and that's a little bit too bad because that's, decreasing in the wonderful, creativity that we get to see on display by these new kaiju having kind of a similar vibe with each other. And not just a vibe, but just the visual cue, it almost feels like they're supposed to be related, or that somehow they're made by the same hand, which is not great because you want maximum variety, right? At least I do. So that's interesting / disappointing, but I'm okay with it. I can handle it. I'm a grown man. I can take it. So in the fight, Gilbaku, he somehow turns the Galaxer feathers, which I don't know why they're feathers. He turns the Galaxer feathers against Arc. He brings them out. He's all ready to fight, and then they start spinning and spinning and spinning, and then they start attacking him, which is cool, crazy cool. And then he's completely drained of his energy, and he his eyes go dark, and he's standing, but he kind of turns down, and that's the end. We have a cliffhanger. It looks like Gilbaku is going to defeat Arc. He's completely out of energy. The moment he transforms, his color timer starts going off. The guy is in trouble, and basically, this was the penultimate episode. We now have his identity revealed, Yuma/Arc's identity revealed to the Skip crew. He is a ticking time bomb. The Onyx will explode after enough time, and all Zesu has to do to win is basically run out the clock, and that's it. This is the best endgame scenario. There is a ticking clock, the whole world is at stake, and Arc's out of energy, and we have no idea how he can possibly defeat this guy, and I bet we're going to get more mind manipulation, dream stuff in the next episode with Gilbaku, and it'll be interesting to see. Will we get an alternate universe? Will we get, I didn't even know what it's going to be. They don't have a lot of time, but they have to sell the conflict. They have to sell Yuma and Arc somehow overcoming this hurdle of being like weak and poisoned and so injured that they can't do anything. I'm hoping we get to see Givas come back, and I think it would be even amazing if we get, oh my gosh, if Bjorno came along and formed a bond with Ishido, and they turn into an Ultra that looks just like Arc, except he's got a different splash of color on him or whatever, and somehow he was able to save Yuma or like give him a bunch of Ultra energy and wake up Arc, and they got to fight this thing together, I would absolutely lose my freaking mind, and that would be so cool. I would love to see that, and that's my prediction based on not having watched the preview or anything for the next episode. It's a prediction slash a hope slash a why won't they do this? How dare you, Tsuburaya, you cowards? Yeah. Anyway, I would love it. We'll see what happens. Because like this is the darkest it can possibly be for Arc and for Ishido, for Ishido and for Yuma and for the world of Ultraman Arc. They are in big trouble. And I gotta say, I don't remember how they did this with Blazar. I think it was "Let's Go Blazar" was the last episode. The catchphrase, whatever, of "Time to Run, Yuma" is the episode title for the next episode, episode 25, the ultimate episode of Ultraman Arc, and I'm excited about that. I think it's really fun, really clever, really cool. Anyway, I gotta go. I've got a heart out right now. Check out my website, mjmunoz.com, to find out and keep up to date on everything that I have going, all my art analysis and fiction. And speaking of fiction, go to growbugs.com to find out about the Growbug book Mockery Mayhem, which will be coming out. I'm working with an artist, a cover artist right now. I have to get her a bunch of technical information, and we're moving forward, so it's time to run for MJ to get this book out. And anyway, I hope you check out the book. I hope you enjoy it. If not, that's fine. We can still be we can still be friends if we must. No. Anyway, I really hope people enjoy it because I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a really cool story, and it's got great high stakes, and it's a lot of fun. Great characters, great relationships between the characters, and it's about magical bugs battling monsters. And if you like to see Ultras battling monsters, I think you'll like to see my little guys battling monsters as well. It's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, until next time, folks, take care and be well.